Welcome back. This is the 28th segment of Making Sense for 7 Minutes. It's a summer-long series, Monday through Friday, where we are surveying in bite-sized pieces our historical narrative as given to us in the Bible. And, as always, asking the immeasurably relevant question, so what? Now, if you have spent any time at all in the Bible, you know that there are some passages that are just plain tedious to read. That's just true. Now, although keep in mind that the Bible was not given to us primarily for our entertainment, although parts of it are pretty entertaining, but the tedium ends when you begin to actually dig and study and spend time in the passages. And to me, the two grand examples of this are in the Gospel according to Matthew and the Gospel according to Luke. Jesus' two genealogies. Now, the first in Matthew tracks Jesus' ancestry back through Joseph and then David and Abraham. It is his legal and royal lineage, while Luke tracks back through Mary and then goes all the way back to Adam. And this is what has taken place in order to establish his biological heritage. Now, it's interesting. Looking at Matthew's gospel account, right out of the stall, he starts with this lineage. In the old King James Version, it's the begats. A bunch of begats. That'll grab your attention. I mean, before we get to the Beatitudes, we got a bunch of begats. What other author can you think of who, if they want to grab their audience's attention, would start off with a bunch of begats? John Grisham wouldn't do that. But the Gospel according to Matthew wasn't written for our entertainment. It was written for our education and our edification. Besides the fact that it was written to a Jewish audience, and for his purposes, that was one of the most interesting ways that he could begin his account. So, Matthew's genealogy goes back to Abraham, showing that Jesus was related to all Jews. Luke's genealogy goes all the way back to Adam, showing that Jesus is related to all human beings. Now, of the two, the one that I find the most fascinating is the lineage in Matthew's account. For one thing, there are so many different types of people in the mix. You've got heroes of the faith. Abraham, Isaac, King David. You've got some ordinary people. Hezron, Ram, Achan. Some were evil. Manasseh and Abijah. And then there were those who would normally, you just wouldn't consider them. They would be unmentionable when it came to the ancestral tree, especially one making the case for royalty. People like non-Jews, women, the morally tainted, shall we say. And then you've got the morally tainted who were women. I mean, in there you're going to have a prostitute You're going to have a woman who wasn't a prostitute, but she dressed like a prostitute and she acted like a prostitute, turned herself into a prostitute at least once, only once, but this was so she could trap her father-in-law, and then she got pregnant as a result of that. Anyway, all of that, that's just going to have to wait for segment number 29. But then there's this gal who sleeps with the king while her husband is out on the front line doing a battle. All these people are in the lineage. And she gets pregnant, incidentally. Look, here's my point. By God's grace, no one was excluded from Jesus' lineage because of something that they had done. I hope you know, I hope you don't think that God has put you on the shelf or dismissed you because of anything that you've done. There is no sin so great that it will outdistance God's grace. Now, if you're on the outside of the faith looking in and you get all ticked off about Christians who do such bad things, let me suggest to you, you do not understand the Christian faith. I'm not a Christian because I'm good. I'm a Christian because I'm not good. And I need a Savior. Thanks, y'all.